Anyone who owns or leases a BMW knows that they made a smart choice. After all, BMWs are synonymous with quality, luxury, and performance. But what exactly sets BMWs apart from the competition? In short, it's the little things, like the valvetronic motor. The valvetronic system can be reprogrammed by connecting its 2-pin plug and then switching the ignition onto position 2. Within the first 15 seconds, you will need to press the accelerator pedal down to full throttle 10 times in order for the valvetronic motor to reprogram itself back to factory spec. How to reset the valvetronic system. Resetting the valvetronic system is actually quite an easy process, and it can be done at home without any tools. Reprogram the system. 1. Turn the ignition key to the on position, position 2, but do not start the engine. 2. Press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and then release it. 3. Repeat 9 more times. 4. You will hear the system has reprogrammed itself when the valvetronic system cycles itself. 5. Start the engine and drive as normal. Side note, many BMW owners have reported that they didn't have to reprogram the valvetronic system after replacing it. They have stated that the valvetronic system cycles itself into the right position when the key is turned in the ignition. When the vehicle programming is complete, the Reset Valvetronic List Adaptation and Learning Valvetronic Limit Positions test plans must be performed. Perform the Reset Valvetronic Lift Adaptation Test Plan. 1. Select Vehicle Management. 2. Select Service Functions. 3. Select Powertrain. 4. Select Engine Electronics. 5. Select Reset Adaptations, run ABL. 6. Select Reset Valvetronic Lift Adaptation and follow the prompts on the screen to clear the valvetronic adaptations. Perform the Valvetronic Lift Adaptation Test Plan. 1. Select Vehicle Management. 2. Select Service Functions. 3. Select Powertrain. 4. Select Engine Electronics. 5. Select Adjustment Programs. 6. Select Valvetronic Lift Adaptation and follow the prompts on the screen to calibrate the valvetronic system. Why would you need to reset the valvetronic? There are several reasons why you might need to reset the valvetronic system in your BMW. Faulty throttle position sensor. A faulty throttle position sensor is one of the most common reasons for valvetronic issues. The throttle position sensor monitors the position of the throttle and sends signals to the engine computer. If the throttle position sensor is not functioning properly, it can cause the engine to run erratically or stall completely. To test whether or not the throttle position sensor is the problem, check for any error codes that may have been stored in the engine computer. You can check the sensor itself with a multimeter if there are no codes. Sticking valves. Another common reason for valvetronic issues is sticking valves. Over time, carbon buildup can cause the valves to stick in their seats, preventing them from properly opening and closing. This will cause engine misfires and reduced power. To clean the valves, you will need to remove them from their seats and soak them in a cleaning solution overnight. Once they are clean, you can reinstall them and see if that solves the problem. Worn out VVT solenoid. The VVT solenoid is responsible for controlling the amount of oil flow to the valve train. If this solenoid becomes worn out, it can cause various problems with the valvetronic system, including reduced power and poor fuel economy. To test whether or not the VVT solenoid is worn out, you can use a multimeter to test its resistance. If the resistance is outside of the specified range, then you will need to replace the solenoid. Faulty ECU. Finally, another common reason for valvetronic issues is a faulty ECU. The ECU is responsible for controlling all of the engine functions, and if it's not working properly, it can cause all sorts of problems with that valvetronic system and other systems as well. To test whether or not the ECU is faulty, you can use a multimeter to test its voltage output. If the voltage output is outside of the spec, then you will need to replace the ECU. Worn out actuator. The actuator is responsible for opening and closing the intake valves. Over time, the actuator can become worn out due to normal wear and tear. When this happens, it can cause the valvetronic system to malfunction. You can replace the actuator yourself or take it to a mechanic to have it done. How to know if there is a problem with the valvetronic system. Power loss. One of the most common reasons for a valvetronic reset is power loss. If you notice that your BMW doesn't have the same pep as it used to, it might be time for a reset. This is especially true if you've recently replaced the battery or had other work done on the electrical system. Check engine light. One of the surest signs that there is a problem with your valvetronic system is if the check engine light comes on. This means that there is a fault code stored in the engine control unit, ECU. If you see this light, it's best to take your car to a reputable BMW service center so they can diagnose and fix the problem. Decreased system voltage. If you've noticed that the voltage in your valvetronic system has decreased, it's also a good idea to reset the system. This can be caused by a number of factors, including a weak battery, a drain current, or a faulty alternator. A poor electrical connection is another reason for decreased system voltage. Therefore, the systems that depend on the valvetronic system may not be functioning properly, and a reset is necessary. Fuel efficiency. Another reason to reset the valvetronic system is reduced fuel efficiency. If you've noticed that your BMW isn't getting the same gas mileage as it used to, a valvetronic reset might be in order. This is because the valvetronic system affects engine airflow, which impacts fuel economy. Misfiring. Another symptom of a faulty valvetronic system is misfiring. This can occur when the system is not able to regulate airflow properly into the cylinders. As a result, the engine may run lean or rich, which can cause misfires. To summarize what we talked about in this video, the BMW valvetronic system is a complex but essential part of your engine, and it's important to keep it running properly. If you're having any issues with your valvetronic system, don't hesitate to take it to a qualified BMW service center. You can also try resetting the system at home, but it's best to let the professionals handle it if that doesn't work. In most cases, a simple reset will fix the problem and have your car running like new again. The reset process is easy and only takes a few minutes, so there's no reason not to try it if you're having issues with your valvetronic system. I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and follow so you don't miss any of my videos.